to the latest episode of Careers with Miss Style. Today I'm interviewing a very special lady, Abbie Speers, who is a medic in the Royal Navy. Good morning, Abbie.
Good morning, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. So obviously this is a channel for sort of GCSE age children who are thinking about what sort of steps they want to take in their future career. Can you talk to us a little bit about what you decided to do when you left school?
Yeah, so I left school in 2013, so it was a while ago now. I went to college, done biology, sociology and English language in college because my overall aim was to go to university and do nursing in university. So went through college, in the end didn't get the grades I actually needed for university, which was a shame. So I ended up just getting jobs in retail as a waitress for a couple of years, and then I didn't actually join the Navy until I was 20. And now looking back, I do wish that I'd done it earlier on, but I think it's one of them things, no one really leads you in that direction. Like, I didn't really know about the forces up until I joined. Like, no one had really said it as an option.
So when you finished college and you've gone on to do, you've done your A-levels and you felt like you've had a little bit of a setback, you didn't get what you wanted to. What inspired you then to think about a career in the Navy?
So what it was actually is my mum's other half used to be in the Navy when he was younger. So he kind of suggested it, and then it was just something I looked into myself. And everything just sounded perfect for me, because with the forces, if you've got a degree and everything, that's fab, they'll take you, but you don't actually need any educational qualifications to join. Like, there's some branches that you don't even need GCSEs for. Obviously it's better if you do have the GCSEs and you do have the qualifications, but there's literally something for everyone. So then I was like, oh, thank God I've got no A-levels to do what I wanted to do, but I still went into that obviously medical role that I did want to go into in the first place. Even though it wasn't full nursing, it was kind of a step in the right direction.
Okay, so how did your training come about then? What did you have to do initially?
So obviously before you join, you get a lot of support from like your local careers advisor, and they give you like fitness regimes to do and stuff. So you just start training yourself, gyms, running, that kind of thing. And then you start your training at HMS Raleigh, which is a big base down in Torpoint in Plymouth. So you need to travel down. Most of the time you travel down on train. If you drive, you can drive. It's completely up to you. And then the training is 10 weeks at HMS Raleigh. Consists of loads of different things. Obviously, you keep your fitness up. You do like PT sessions 3 times a week. You go to different places. You camp out overnight in some places. It's honestly, it's the craziest experience, but there's so much chucked into them 10 weeks.
And then you go on then to specialise in whatever area you want to work in.
Yeah, so usually when you join, before you join, you pick the branch that you want to go into before you join. So for me as a medic, we train in Lichfield, which is just outside of Birmingham, and that's 9 months altogether. So as soon as we finished our basic training in Raleigh, then we all travel up to Lichfield and then spend the 9 months in Lichfield training there. Obviously it's a long time, but you do get weekends off and nights off and stuff like that. It's not just 9 solid months of being trapped there.
And when you've done that training, then have you got a qualification at the end of it?
So we get an NVQ in health and social care, I think it is. But that's the downside to the armed forces a lot of the time, is that we don't actually have a lot of qualification outside of the military. So if I left now, I wouldn't be trusted with the things that I'm trusted with inside of the military.
Right, okay, so your training that you've done is for the military. They're happy, they've trained you the situations that they're going to find you in, but that's not really a transferable qualification if you wanted to go out and start into nursing.
Yeah, exactly.
If you wanted to leave.
There is opportunity in the Navy to go off and do degrees and get other qualifications, you can go to university through the Navy, and you can do nursing, you can do be a farm tech, and you can do biomedical science, and there's a couple of other things that you can do as well. But the Navy will pay for your whole degree for you. And pay for like your accommodation while you're doing your degree, that kind of thing. You have got to go through like a board to be able to get selected. Like, not a lot of people get selected. I think it's only about 10 people a year that get selected to do it. But if that's something that you're thinking about doing, then definitely go for that, because even if you fail one year, you can retry the next year anyway.
Okay, amazing. So what does your typical day look like now? You're all qualified, you've passed everything. What does your job involve every day?
Right, so every 2 years you get a different draft anyway, so it depends where you're drafted. So you can either be drafted at a shoreside base or on a ship. So if we say on a shoreside base, you kind of start work at 8:30 in the morning. You'll see everyone for any general medical queries that they've got. You do vaccinations, you can do sutures, all types of typical like things that your nurses would do, we kind of do. You do medical stores, you can go out on exercises depending where you are. You can work with the Marines, you can go out with them. It's honestly, I can't even tell you a typical day, because it is different everywhere you go.
Yeah, that's the when I've interviewed other people who are in the military as well, they've just said, you know, you could write a book really with all the different experiences that you have, the places that you go, the things that you do. It's a really, really varied career.
Oh, definitely it is. Like, especially when you're on deployments and stuff as well. Like, so you'll be on ship, and like your job obviously as a medic is to take care of everyone else on that ship. But in between, like, there's so many things going on. Like, they always do exercises on the ship where they pretend that like you're getting attacked, like they pretend it's war, and like you've got to go and find casualties on the ship and treat them and get them out of the ship. And like they have helicopters and you've got to evacuate casualties like on the ship and stuff. It is good, but like you said, it is different everywhere you go and every single day.
Do you ever get anybody like coming to you and saying, actually, I'm really seasick?
Oh, all the time. So even myself, the first time I went on ship, I'd never been on a ship before, so I thought I'll be fine. It was the most awful experience of my life. I was just vomiting my guts off into the toilet.
Oh no.
Yeah, there is a lot of people that get seasick, but it's something that you kind of get used to. Like, that was the only time I've ever been seasick, which was the first time I've been on ship, but since then it's been fine.
Yeah, you get your sea legs, as they say, don't they?
Yeah, but obviously we've got like medication on board anyway, so if you do get seasick, then there is tablets and stuff to take.
Cool. Okay, so what do you like best? What's your favourite thing about your job?
Oh, probably just all the benefits that you get from it. Like, we get free medical care, and most of the time your doctors and stuff are on the camp that you're on, so you don't need to go far to get medical care. You can get seen if you've got a problem, within 10 minutes you can get seen by someone and get sorted. You get free dental care. On most camps they have like full dentists. You get so many benefits. Like, if you need to drive somewhere for work, they'll reimburse you and pay you for the fuel that you've used. If you're going on exercise, they'll pay you for the food that you've eaten. Like, it is like you're never out of pocket really, because they do treat you well.
Okay. And how does it work? Because I did have some friends who were in the Navy when I was younger, and they had to stay in for a certain amount of time. How does that work? Is that still?
Yeah, so it depends on what branch you go into, really. Because you can either be surface fleet, which is on ships, or you can be a submariner, which is obviously in the submarines. And with the submariners, I don't know if they're doing it anymore, but they were doing a golden hello. So if you joined as a submariner, you get £5,000 just given to you as like a thank you for joining. But if you take that £5,000, then you've got to stay in for 36 months.
Right.
But it just depends on what branch you're in. But once you start your training, if you stay for the whole of your training, I think it's only about, I can't even remember off the top of my head, but I think it's only about a year or two that you've actually got to stay in for before you can leave. But then once you ask to leave, you don't really leave until a year afterwards.
Okay. So it's a big commitment. If you do decide that you want to do it, it's not something that you can just decide, oh no, today I don't fancy it and I'm getting out.
I mean, you can go and start basic training, and you have 20 days in the start of your basic training to say, oh no, it's not for me, and you can just leave. But after that 20 days, you've got to just grit it out, unless you get medically discharged in some way. But yeah, but if you stay on after that, especially if you do your training for your branch or get a qualification, then you do have a return of service, but it's different for every single branch.
And I think the point is behind that is obviously if the Navy are paying for your qualification, they want you to be able to do that. So they've trained you to be a medic. They want you to be able to do that in the Navy. They're not training you to be a medic to just go and leave and do it somewhere else. So it's a trade-off, isn't it? It's a fair way of doing it, that people aren't just signing up, getting the qualifications and then leaving.
Yeah, they're doing something nice for you, so you've got to kind of give back to them.
Yeah. So what would you advise anyone now who's at this sort of stage in their career or thinking about perhaps the military or the Navy or the Army? What would you advise them to do?
Find out where your local career advisor is. I don't know where the closest one to your school is, but I know there's one in Liverpool city centre. It's called HMS Eaglet. But if you just Google Royal Navy, Army, RAF career advisors, it should come up with your closest one. Go and have a chat with them. They'll be able to advise you on what type of things you'll be able to do, what things are available, because obviously sometimes like branches are full, you might not be able to join as what you want, so they might advise you to join as a different branch or join a different service or whatever. But I'd say if you are thinking about joining, then do really think about it, because like you said, it is a big commitment, and like you don't want to go through the whole process, because it is a long process to join as well. Like sometimes it takes a couple of years from when you first decide to join to actually joining, and you don't want to go through all that, go through the whole process to just turn around and go, oh, actually I'm not really that bothered, I'm just going to leave it.
Yeah. I think with anything like this, with the jobs military, they are a lifestyle. So you go into it, there's amazing benefits, and as we've discussed, it's a very exciting job, but it is a lifestyle. You are you don't just go home at 5 o'clock and put your feet up. You're fully committed with everything, aren't you? You could be taken away, you could be sent on deployment, you're very well looked after, but like I said before, there's a trade-off that you have both things. So it is just something that you have to really, really be serious about wanting to do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, most people in the military are on 24 hours to move. So you can literally be called and be told the next day that you're going somewhere. I mean, last year, so I was based down in Plymouth last year, and then I got a call from the draft order guys, and then they sent me out on a ship to the Caribbean the next week just to take over someone that had to come off the ship. And like, you do get a choice sometimes. Like if you've got welfare issues, they will keep that in mind, but a lot of the time by joining up, you are saying, yeah, I am happy to go where you send me, and I'm happy to leave my family at the drop of a hat. Okay,
well, that's great. Thanks so much, Abbie, for all of that. If anybody has any questions, I'm sure that we could drop you an email or get in touch, if anyone wants to know anything else.
Yeah.
But thanks so much for giving us your time today, because I think it's going to be really useful. I know there's quite a few of our young people who are considering these types of careers, so I think it's going to be really helpful. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's no problem. Thanks.
All right, take care. Bye.
Bye.